City Council meeting, the Vader City Council. It is November 17th, 2022. The time is 6:08 p.m. Roll call.
Randy Hall.
Here.
Jason Daly.
Here.
And McIntosh here. Mike Ferguson.
Mike, you get a hold of the council. He is going to be absent today.
Here.
Also,
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all. Mayor's report. Warden Park, the playground shelter installation, it's most of the way complete. There are a couple of accessories on it that need to get adjusted and things like that, but by and large, what you see is what's going to be there. So pretty exciting. Also, Warden Park, the jail roof and chimney. If you've been by it, you see that the new cedar shake is about halfway installed. They're working on it today, so they may have gotten majority of it done. They're also working on the chimney still. Reminders, there's a special council meeting. December 1st will be our next council meeting to prevent interference with the Christmas holiday. There'll be a public hearing on December 1st as well on the 2023 final budget. Planning committee vacancy. So update to this, there are now 2 planning committee vacancies. Mr. William Torres did get a hold of City Hall because of family commitments. He needs to withdraw from the planning committee. So we have 2 vacancies on the planning committee. Please talk to your neighbors and let them know that plenty of opportunity to volunteer within the city on the planning committee. And lastly, the Parks Board is going to be holding their fundraiser, their holiday bazaar and tree lighting on the first Saturday in December, December 3rd. It's in the afternoon and evening from 4 to 7. The bazaar itself will be held across the road at the church, and then at 7 there's going to be a tree lighting. Moving on to council reports. Any members of the council have anything to report?
On that same note of December 3rd, December 10th is the Castle Rock Festival of Lights over there. So if you're not busy,
Advertising other city events.
they're a local city and it's our school district too.
That's true. Other council members?
Yeah, are we tax exempt
Who's we?
city? No? Okay. I still went ahead and called stamps.com and talked to him. And he seemed like a better deal than having to go down to the dealing with the post office because you get a bigger discount going through them. There's no hidden fees. It's $17.99 a month. It's by month. There's no contract. And you can get up to 16% on priority mail, 30 on mail shipments, 26 on first class package services. And you use your computer and your printer. And it's easy and reliable. I've checked it out, talked to people, and it seems better than spending over $1,000 for the postage. We could go this route and save a lot of money.
I think so yeah, and I thank you for bringing that up. I know the clerks did look into that, and I think it's one of those things where yes, there is a discount to the postage, but there is a monthly fee, and I think the amount of postage we need versus the monthly fee, the discount did not necessarily outweigh the monthly fee. Okay. I think is what it is. It's like if we had more volume, if we had thousands of customers that we were mailing every month.
We are the sewage.
250, 230.
Did you receive my email response? Yeah,
Yeah, that was very
but
clear.
I wanted to bring it, because it didn't explain a lot to me.
Okay, well, I can explain it for you. So indeed, what they're saying on top of everything is they're gonna give us postage at 57 cents. Excuse me, instead of 60.
Right.
So we compared what it cost us to buy, what we were talking about, an average number per year, 1,440 stamps. If you get it at the post office, it costs $820.80. Of course, I'm sorry, that's what they list at the 57 cents, $828. And the post office is $864. Okay, for stamps.com, you also have to figure in the $17.99 a month.
Right.
So that's $215.68
Right.
added to the $828. Plus, you have to buy the stickers
Right.
to print on.
Right.
And so the stickers to get for those, there's two types I've looked at. One is labeled for Avery, which is a common label company. To get that, we would need 48 sheets of 30 each, and they're $4.97 each. So that would be $149.10, in addition to the monthly fee and the $820. I looked at Dymo labels, which we have a printer for that. At Walmart, you can get there, and you'll need 6 sheets of 100, or 6, there's on a roll, actually 700 on a roll. And so that additional cost would be $67.13. So when you add all that up, you're looking at a cost difference of using the least expensive labels, $1,103.81, but buying them at our post office only cost $864.
I just wanted to, because you know, to me, didn't explain it to you, so.
Okay,
What's the labels for?
to print your stamps on.
So I had a good idea was maybe we could use stamps.com to get all the postage for the sewer billing,
Yeah,
because they do offer a discount. And so,
I mail out a ton of stuff and stamps didn't work for us.
yeah,
but
that seems like you need to have a much higher volume
Yeah,
of postage usage to overcome those fees. I think the savings are there,
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
but not for such a low volume.
I'll keep looking.
Okay.
There's something out there, I know.
Okay, and I also thought it was beneficial for the city to get our business to a local post office.
But they're federal. They don't need our help. They got all the help they need.
actually,
For them to
each,
stay here.
for them to stay here, they have to have the volume.
Right.
So if we all don't use them, then they'll close that post office down.
No, they got us got a short hairs. We have to use them.
What's that?
We have to use them. There's no, why would I want to go all the way out this, you know.
Well, that's what we're saying
I know,
is,
that's not-
yeah, if we
They're not
don't
going
use them, there's more chances of them closing down.
The closest post office here is in Limbaugh.
Do you have any other council reports? Jason, do you have any council reports?
No.
Any turkey related Christmas tree giving things that you want to mention?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I guess I could mention that we are taking numbers and names for our giving baskets again down here at the restaurant. So if you know anyone that needs a gift basket, or they can come down here and they can fill out our little form for them, and we'll get that done.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is Little Crane open on Thanksgiving?
No.
Where's dinner then?
Order up.
All right, moving on to agenda approval.
I make a motion, we approve the agenda for the meeting on 11/17/2022.
We have a motion to approve the agenda. Do we have a second?
My second.
Seconded by Ms. McIntosh. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Minutes approval.
Make a motion that we approve the minute for 11/10/2022.
We have a motion by Mr. Parsons to approve the meeting minutes. We have a second. By Mr. Hall, further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The opposed, motion carries. Approval.
These ones are right. I make a motion that we approve vouchers amended 1st of October, $129,074.84. Amended end of October, $277,484.77. Amended total of October, $406,559.61. End of November 2022, $29,322.16. Total November, $74,030.47.
We have a motion by Mr. Parsons to approve the vouchers as written. Do we have a second? Seconded by Mr. Hall. Discussion?
How about just explain why we have those amended ones?
Sure.
We had to, it was last day, so we got the notice. So we had to go back to fix what happened. First out the charge, first out the payment, and there's another bank charge. So that's where we looked at
All those in favor of approving the vouchers, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Special reports from the Parks Board. Unfortunately, they are not here. They are working on the holiday bazaar, that December 3rd. They're also active in tracking the changes down at Wharton Park. And they're also looking ahead to recycling events and things of that nature in the new year. Planning Committee, they just had a meeting just a few minutes ago. They were discussing the annexation request that you all approved at the last council meeting. They also discussed the updates coming to the critical areas ordinances. That's a mandated state periodic update. So we're a little out of date on that. So we're going to get moving on that. And then what was the last thing?
They just reviewed the design.
Oh, that's right. They reviewed the urban design standards. Speaking of urban design standards, moving on to city business, item number 1, council to consider ordinance 2022-05, the Vader urban design standards. So our original guidance on this was that it was going to need to go to planning committee and have public hearings and all this stuff. Our attorney looked at it and she decided that upon further review, it doesn't need that at all. And so you've all seen this before. I kind of give you a heads up a while back. This has been about a year in the making. The city got grant funding from the county to update our urban design standards. And it was written by our city engineer, reviewed by our staff, and it is ready for council approval. This would be all the urban, the standards as far as how to build roads, how to build sidewalks, how to build curb and gutter, street lighting, all that stuff, all the stuff it takes to build a neighborhood. That's what these urban design standards are for.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2022-05 Vader urban design standards.
There's a motion by Mr. Hall to approve ordinance 2022-05. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
have some much older design standards that were, some parts of it were out of date, some of the parts were unrealistic. So these will bring the city into kind of the normal range. So if a developer comes to town that's familiar with building in Longview or Chehalis or one of the other smaller cities in the area, they'll take a look at our design standards and say, oh, that's normal, that makes sense. That's what they're for. They're to make us more normal.
What's for the now?
Well, it attracts development when they know, when they come to town and they know what to expect.
Mayor, one of the things that Steve, in writing these, has referenced several different manuals, state requirements, WASDA requirements, all of that kind of stuff. And so we are going to upload all of those manuals onto the website so developers could look and say, oh, this is here and there's the reference. So all that's good.
Books upon books. Further discussion? All those in favor of approving ordinance 2022-05 for the Vader design standards, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 2, council to discuss the 2023 budget estimates for the general fund. So as we've gone through this process for the budget, we just continue to fine tune where we are in our current revenue and expenditures. So it's just another opportunity to discuss that.
I'm glad to see the bottom line has 30,000 plus.
Yeah, we are not in the red. That's for certain.
Of course, that's a moving target, but
It is. So if you see on the front of this sheet right now, this is this one here, kind of the projections. It's one most of you are probably familiar with, where it talks about our current beginning balance at the end of beginning of this year, where our revenues are at through the middle of November, where our expenditures are through the middle of November, and what our ending balance is. And with our 2-month goal and our amount over shortfall over or short of the goal, of course we're over. There are a couple of things though. If you look further down that far right column from the 137,000, you'll see a couple that are in the red. Be aware that all 3 of those funds, the current fund, the street fund, and the parks fund, they really are the same fund, even though they have different names. And so
They absorb each other.
it's correct. So you could really add those line items together. And so there's 137, -13, and -40. And so you can kind of come up with a number that's more like the 83,000. So we're not negative,
Kind of like that number.
kind of like that number.
sort of,
That's how math works, right?
sort of, yeah.
Yeah. And so, and if you turn the page over to the next page, this will have that 179,000 in the current fund. That's kind of that's our balance now. And then you see that for November and December, we have projected revenue. So for the rest of this month and then all of next month, we kind of have our estimate for how much we think revenue will be through the end of the year. In the next column over projected expenditures, what we think our expenditures will be for the remainder of the year. And then from that, we can kind of get an estimated end of balance for 2022. And then what's the 2023 number? Are those numbers just not up? I think the dates just aren't.
The 2023 is not a total. This is just.
Oh, I thought this was the 2022 one. I'm sorry. So this is the amount of our shortfall, and then comes down to about 50,000 above our 2-month expenditure goal. Just kind of gives you an idea that we're not running the deficit.
I could mention too that I was on an hour and a half call with the auditors this morning, and they were complimentary of the city and how their financial situation is and the cash flow they have, and that we have the reserves on hand. Good thing.
So, any questions on that? We should ask. Today they're here. Jason, any questions on the budget?
I don't know.
All right. Moving on to item number 3, then, council to consider ordinance 22-06, the property tax levy rate. So there are 2 documents you have. So there's this one with lots and lots of numbers on it. It's like this. And then,
There's an extended
Ordinance.
version. Yeah.
there's an ordinance for state provided ordinance. So in the state provided ordinance, with something like this, the city states what our percentage increase would be and what that would actually be in a dollar amount. And this is where council gets to set that. And as I explained at the last meeting, city has not changed its property tax revenue in a number of years. And even before that, it hadn't changed it in a number of years. I think we've raised it once over the last 8 years. Is that correct? Maybe longer than that even. And so our property tax that we take in remains fixed. And so you see the sheet right here. It says $78,158.21. That's how much we bring in from property tax.
That's what we're telling the
And it's-
county to assess.
Right, and it stays fixed like that. So for every one of those years, for the last many, many, many years, that's what our property tax. So
Not that number,
yes,
it's a percentage.
no,
No.
it's not. So
And why are we picking percentages?
so what you do is you pick a percentage increase over this number. So for instance, if you were to choose a 10% increase, it would be 10% above this. So it'd be an additional $7,800. And then that's what number we would write down. And then next year, that's what we would get. We would get 7,800 plus 7K.
So if people's property
We don't get that.
values go up,
So if the assessed value goes up, so let's say your property is,
Yep.
your home's worth 300,000 and it goes up to 350. That's just your assessed value. The property taxes don't go up. It's not a percentage of it. Unless the agencies, all the different agencies that collect property tax, part of that, the county, the city, fire districts, whatever, if they increase your percentage for that year, it will go up. But if no one ever increased anything, your property taxes wouldn't go up. Your assessed value does go up, but your taxes don't go up.
There is a ratio that's applied to your property value. And based on what we tell them we want to assess, that's what that ratio is. So it might get smaller because we haven't increased it in all these years. But yes, this is what we're telling them to assess, $78,000.
So you can go back and, yeah.
but it's,
You can go back and prove that. You can pull our budget, our take every single year for the last years, and it varies slightly, but
60,000.
not much. But yeah, that's how much. So when we levy an increase, we're levying a dollar amount, and the state will collect that much for us every single year. And so we have been stagnant at $78,000 every single year for many years. And so when you see, for instance, that's why when you see what the maximum is 17.79%, it's an increase of 17.79 above this number. So it's 17% more than $78,000, which is $13,904. And so so even if you max this thing out, our take would only be 78,000 plus 13. It's
So
blowing your mind right now, isn't it?
it is. I don't understand because it's based off of the house value of 100,000.
Well, Diana's gone
To
through
help.
and calculated on the next page.
What the increase would be.
If you look on the back page of that,
This one?
she's got a variety of home values. So you could actually find your home value. Go to page 2, the first one. Yep, that one. So see there in the first column, there's a variety of property values. So you can find, and this is for the top row is for 17.79%. So you find your property with your home value, and then if we maxed out the most, which I'm not advocating, but I'm saying if we did, this is what your actual increase would be. So if you had a $300,000 home, and if we did 17.79%, you could see about a $4.98 increase per month in your property taxes. So less than $5 a month.
$60 for the year.
But why does all that matter if it's fixed off of $79,000?
Because it's what you'd be selecting is, in this case, we would say we're going to increase our property tax levy by 17.79%.
Okay,
And then we would recalculate 17.79% above this. And so our new city revenue would be, our levy rate would be $13,904 plus 78,000. So it would go up.
but if my house gets reassessed and it goes up to 500,000, now I'm paying $99 more.
No. Because our amount stays fixed until we ask to change it.
Well, then why do we have all of this? So if my assessed value goes up, my property tax is going to go up, and the city doesn't get any more of that?
What we're talking about is that the property value, is based on
Assessed value.
the assessed value of the property.
Yep.
So, excuse me, if you're billed at this rate you're at right now, the same amount, this is what it's gonna cost you. But if we increase that percentage, we're saying, no, we don't want 78, we'd rather have 92,000. For you personally, this is what it would be, $100 a year.
Okay,
And I have it gradually.
for right now. And say my house value is at let's just go top to bottom. So let's say it's 200,000 right now.
I know what you're saying. You're saying that if let's say your house is worth $500,000 today. Next year it goes up to be $1 million.
Uh-huh.
The amount of money the state sends us does not change.
But we'll change the levy for next year. So it would be whatever. And the levy amount they allot us is based on the total amount of real estate in the whole city.
It is, yeah, it's a more complicated formula than just that. But I sent an email about a week ago, before the last council meeting. I sent an email with a link to MRSC's website that talks about how it's calculated. It talked about a fictitious city that had one house in it. Did you read this?
I didn't.
So it talks about a fictitious city or fictitious county with one home. and then it walks through the example of how property tax is calculated. And then they add a second home onto it, and they talk about how it's divided out. It's not ringing a bell to anybody?
No.
No, I never
Okay,
got
just
it.
ignore my emails.
No, I didn't get
Um,
anything.
Can
I read
Rachel
it.
pipe in? She might be able to.
When you're doing a continuing snapshot for 2023, all of the homes assessed values and assessing a percentage for that tax. And that's what it will be from here to kingdom come unless they do another, we need to increase the tax again. And then they'll take another assessment for that, say 2050. And then they'll be like, oh, okay, now everyone's assessed value is now $1 million. Well, let's do that. And it'll stay that amount until. And then that.
See, and I kind of understand it that way, except we've been doing the 79 for 8 years now.
So probably got-
My house value has gone up 5 times. And so, but we're still at the 78 and we're only going up. So it's a percentage. It's like, I know that it's the saying apples and oranges, but they don't,
It sounds like the taxes you were paying were from the 8 years ago snapshot of whatever the value of your home was 8 years ago. And now that's what it sounds like. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, and there's one piece that we realized this year too, that, you know, the bank capacity, the percentage changes every year because the dollar amount changes because of increased property values and new properties being added.
is that why it's 17, not 8?
Yes, last year it was 9 and now it's 17.
So it's not a percentage a year that we can increase it.
Yes.
It's a percentage over, it's a percentage, not a percentage on your property value. It's a percentage on our levy rate, this number. So we can increase our property taxes by 1% above this number, not 1% on your property value.
So where's the money going?
Not here.
Well, that's what I understand. I understand that.
You can
It's
run
not
our-
going here.
You
Where's
can-
it
You
going?
can run our budget, you know.
Because our property taxes, my property taxes have gone up. So it's not coming to the city, then where's it going?
Right, yeah, and I can say that I used to, like, all right, my property tax is going up, at least I can say that at least I'm paying more to the city, but that's not the case. Because our levy rate is staying the same. Now, that being said, I think the county takes its 1% every year. I think the state can raise its 1% every year. If the school districts and the fire districts and the cemetery districts and everyone else that's part of your property tax, if they raise their levy every year, that's where it's going.
That's what it's going, yeah.
And that's what we're talking about, that banked amount, it's being banked somewhere like. They're just not getting.
Right, so if 1% on $78,000 is $780. So every year that we don't.
It's one of the capital lots.
There's $780 more.
And then the next year, that 1% represents more because the property values have increased and we have more houses. And so then the next year, the bank is not gonna just be that 1%, it's gonna be the inflated 1%. And so all those added up all over the years, we've not increased property taxes. We currently have 17 something banks
Mhm.
that we have access to that we have not.
I just sent the email to you all 7 days ago, so a week from today ago. That had the examples on it, how they calculate property tax. I'm wondering if it would be any value added to this to you, probably not.
I was talking to somebody the other day about property tax, and I was saying, I think it's horrible that the nicer houses get taxed more than the houses with all the garbage around them. The more you clean your house, it feels like the higher your tax rate goes up. Huh? Yes, you get punished, and it doesn't make sense to me, and he assured me that that's not the way it is, but
The county has a factor that they use when they assess properties. Because that's how they do it. It's not anything we can control.
Yeah, in this example, they have, in this, like I said, in fictitious county, there's one home. Well, this is interesting. So imagine a county that has only one parcel and one house. The property is worth $100,000. It's the only property. Its value is also the entire assessed value of the entire county. So suppose further that the levy rate in that county is $2. That means that one property owner must pay $2 for each $1,000 that his or her property is worth. So in the first year after the house is built, the taxes on that home will be calculated as the following. The assessed value of the county in thousands, so 100,000, because that's the whole property, times the levy rate, $2, equals the tax bill, which is $200. So that one home, in the one home would pay $200. And so in the next year, let's assume the value of the county's one home doubled from 100 to $200,000. Its tax bill, I misspoke, $202. Its tax bill will still be $202. No matter how much the assessed value in the county increases, its levy might only increase by 1%. So the county then adjusts the levy rate to make it fit the new assessed value. So the new levy rate would be $202 divided by the new assessed value, which is 200,000, equals the new levy rate, which is 1.01. Anyway, then it goes on to say if there's two homes, it talks about how instead of now the one home paying the entire amount of $202, now it gets split. So one home would pay, well, the whole value of the county goes up because now there's another home, but one home pays 100, the other home pays 200. So it gets split, it gets divided out by more homes. So the calculation is not just a straight percentage. So in this case, the sheet that Diane had, the really long one, it talks about how the entire city's value went up. That's the assessed value that you were talking about. And then it takes that and then it divides out the amount that we get, the 78,000, by those new rates for each home. Anyway, I encourage you to take a look at that. I sent it to you about a week ago. It's educational, gives you an idea. But the gist of it is, our property tax that
Is going up regardless.
remains, well, the amount of property tax the city get remains fixed at 78,000 from now until forever, unless council decides to change it. And unfortunately, the fact of the matter is, our expenses do not remain fixed, right? I mean, payroll goes up, our cost of fuel goes up, the cost of power for all our buildings goes up, the cost of supplies to run the city goes up, on and on and on and on. Basically the city hasn't gotten a raise in however many years now since we raised property taxes. If you haven't gotten a raise in 8 or 12 years, you probably wouldn't be doing so well either. So, not that the city isn't doing well, but the fact of the matter is we can't stay stagnant forever. At some point we need a raise. I know one of the considerations the council has every year is fixed incomes. A lot of folks in town are retired, just like every city. The good news is in 2023, everyone on disability and Social Security is going to get an 8.7 raise from the government. So everyone's getting a pretty good size increase in the new year.
Yeah, we're gonna need it because price of gas is gonna go up every fucking gallon
Everything's going up.
between the state and the feds. The additional new environmental tap cost. $1 a gallon almost. Imagine what you're paying on an added buck.
So if we pass this, say we pass it at the full 17.79 and my property is worth $100,000. That means I'm going to pay an extra $20
A year.
this year. My property tax is going to go up $20.
Correct.
for the city.
Where's the money? Why does my property tax have to go up if the money's already being taken out, but it's being banked?
The money isn't being banked. The increase that we're available to use is being saved. So every year that we don't increase that 1% legally that a municipality is allowed to increase, we get to save it. So, and it's not exactly a one-to-one. It changes, but so if it's $1, 1% this year we don't use, then next year we could do 2%. Year after year that we could do 3%. So you're only allowed to do it 1% a year. But if you don't use it, you can save it and do it all at once later on. And which is why Vader is at a 17.79% increase over our current tax rate. Not a 17% increase on your property value, but a 17% increase on our levy rate, which is $78,000. That's why it turns out to be so little. I mean, you think 17% is a lot, but it really only equals to $13,900 divided out among everyone in the city. So, which turns out to be in this case, on a $100,000 home, $20 a year. It's not an easy decision. It's not. But
Which means $300,000 numbers, $60.
correct. Yeah, and that's what on the second page. Yeah, it does go up.
Well, I think,
And you're right, and most people in town will probably
yeah,
all around 300,000.
right.
For a majority.
So, yeah, you need to triple whatever that number is at least, minimum.
So it does come out to around $5 a month.
I would think we need to get aboard on some kind of increase. But I'm really reluctant to go for the full amount.
Of course.
I would be thinking around the 5 to 10% mark to start off with to see how it goes. You have any thoughts on that, Mike? We need to
Everything
get,
you believe in.
we need.
It does. I absolutely hate it. And I also think that the cities in the black, we're doing fine. The things that,
Let me speak to that, Mike. We are in a precarious position because what we've done over these years is that we have eaten our reserve every month to cover the extra expenses. We keep eating away at that reserve, and it's getting dangerously low. We kind of limped along because we had a whole bunch of building permits last year and the year before. But there's no guarantee of that, and we've got to be self-sustainable. So we've got to cover our costs.
We need to do something, but the real question is, at what level?
well,
Otherwise,
the other,
One thing I might add too, Mike, you own a business, so you know that expenses increase, and ultimately you have to increase your prices to offset the increases.
that's what my CFO tells me, but I haven't done it yet. That's why I'm really
So,
trying not to.
My house has gone up. I don't know, it's about double, from when I bought it. My property taxes have not doubled.
yeah,
If you're looking for, an example of, because I know you're looking at that, and you're not exactly believing. It doesn't really make sense, right?
Yeah,
It
I mean,
kind of goes against kind of what you've always thought. But, my house has doubled, my property taxes haven't doubled. If it was a strict percentage, they would have, but it's not. That makes sense?
yeah, I don't know. I also feel like there's, well, this is going to make me very unpopular, but there's also things out there that we can collect money for. We've got people that owe penalties that are huge and they just keep walking away. Let's go after those penalties, and it's going to be way more than $13,000
Penalties based on
based on notice of violations, frivolous lawsuits, all of these things that we just keep taking and taking and taking. We, years ago, me and you sitting right here, along with other people in the city, approved all of these abatement or all of the, what's the word I'm looking for? The notice of violation stuff.
Code enforcement.
Code enforcement, thank you. We approved all of these code enforcement things, and every time we go after somebody, they get a lawyer, and then we just don't collect all the fees. And so what that means is we're spending money, but we're not collecting the fees. And that, to me, that's our biggest issue. If we collected all of our fees, we would either have a lot of money or we would have a very clean city. And the people that have the trashy houses, they would pay or they would move, one or the other. And then somebody would come in that keeps the house up and increases everything. Because
we don't have any outstanding notice of violations except for one that involved lawsuit. Everybody else is paid whatever we done. And my response to you, Mike, I understand what you're saying, is that that's like a police department running on speeding tickets. Our city can't run on code violations. We have to have a sustainable income, which is the regular taxes that pay for the services for the city.
well, if we ran on code enforcement, we wouldn't have to raise 17% because the values in the city would go up like crazy, and we'd only have to run at 5%.
The values in the city could go quadruple and we wouldn't see more tax revenue.
Not until we increase this.
Not until you increase the levy.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Mr. Goff.
My question is, we took the banked 1% to do the codification in 15, so how do we come up with 17%? Didn't we get 1% per year banked from 15?
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, it doesn't just add up to add 1% each year. We don't take it. That's why we kind of jumped all of a sudden because of the property values. So property values went up. The overall city property worth went up, so our percentage goes up with it. I don't fully comprehend the whole thing myself. They sent us a document that explains it. We could share it with you if you like. It has all of the cities in the state on it. You can see how everyone increases together.
And we don't get to vote on that as citizens? The increase?
No, you don't get to vote on it as a citizen. You get to talk about it at public hearings and let your city council know that you don't want your property taxes increased, or that you think they should be.
That's already passed.
So, but we've had those public hearings, so you don't get to say anything now. I'm kidding, of course. Everyone's listening, Bob.
We just have to keep in mind, we have a deadline to meet with the state. We have to file by the 30th.
Yeah, this has to be decided tonight. That way we can get it sent off to the state. There is a legal requirement. Unless you want to have another council meeting about it this month. Mr. Daly, chance to. Jason, we've had a meeting for a while. Do you have any input?
Yeah, I'm with Randy with the 5%. I think that is reasonable what's that, 559 on 100,000 a year is doable, I think, for most people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think 10% is too much. We need to get a board on it. Otherwise, we'll never catch up.
At 5%, on a $300,000 home, you're looking at about $1.41 a month. So
And as much as I like Mike's idea about going after the fees and the taxes, and it's just like people who don't pay the sewer bill, it's like trying to get blood out of a turnip. You can't get money out of people who don't have it, even if you force them to sell it. So
So why are we raising it if
it's
you're
a little-
saying that people can't afford it? What's up the ante? Why? If they can't afford to pay their sewage bill or their garbage bill or whatever else, why are we raising the taxes? Leave it alone.
Because the bills still don't go away.
Yeah, but we can do this next year when
No.
everything's.
No,
That's what we've said. That's what we've said for the last 8 years, and now we're at this.
there's no way we can do it next year. We have to do it. And I think
there's always.
we need to go in the middle ground, 5%, to see where it takes us, and we can always redress that.
Put it in motion, Andy.
I motion, consider to approve the ordinance 2022-06 property tax level rate for 2023 at the 5% level on the potential tax levy chart.
We have a motion by Mr. Hall to approve ordinance 2022-06, the property tax levy rate for 2023 at the 5% increase above our current levy. This would, according to this graph, would increase city revenue by $3,907.91, which comes out to be about 47 cents a month on a $100,000 home. Is there a
Yeah,
second?
it's peanuts. Well, I mean, but we need to get a board on it. So just one thing we're going for the next 2 or 3 years, it's not going to get any better, unfortunately. Not right away, even if things change.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Day, or, excuse me, Mr. Patterson. Per year, under $17 per year on a home, so a little under $1.50 a month.
Yeah, it's a good compromise from not going to the top. Me, I was torn between 5 and 10, but I think we need to start out as low as possible. I understand people, it hurts people to pay more. I have to pay it as well, but trying to collect money from other sources is, and when they don't have it, it's like pulling teeth or getting blood out of a turnip. It's not gonna happen. It's gonna cost us more in attorney fees than we'll ever.
It doesn't, no, that's a separate issue, and it's
Well,
not going to cost
no, I
us
mean,
more in
if-
attorney fees
if we
if
had-
we collect.
If we had a code enforcer, maybe, yeah. But until that happens, it's not gonna happen.
You know, a lot of big cities have other knobs they can turn to increase
Yeah, like,
revenue.
if they don't pay the sewer, we turn off the water, but we can't do that.
I mean, think about, a city with a lot of commerce, right? A lot of, they can do a variety of things like
Right.
increasing sales tax by a little bit. They can do things like increasing,
We don't have a lot of spigots.
right. I mean, we don't have a lot of sales tax coming in. Property tax is what runs the city.
I don't think it's unreasonable at all. I mean, I don't like it. I hate increasing taxes. conservative in that area, but I think unfortunately we need to do it.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know if increasing taxes is the right way to look at it. It's almost like keeping up.
That's the way people
with
want to see it,
inflation, right?
yeah.
Because it's, once again, the amount of money that the city has taken year after year after year has remained the same.
Right.
As inflation has gone up, as payroll has gone up for everyone else, the city has not gotten an increase, and yet our costs have gone up.
It's just the outlook for what's gonna happen down the road is another reason to do it,
So,
and cost.
Jason, do you have any input?
No.
All right. More discussion on
Is he telling Carol
this? Just
that?
make it dinner or?
Probably.
I'm sorry, I was chopping onions.
Those are some mean onions. All those in favor of ordinance property tax levy at a 5% increase over current levy rate, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Moving on to item number 4, council will consider resolution 21-2022, banking the property tax levy capacity. So this would be banking the difference between the 17.79 and the 5%. So, let's calculate.
I make a motion that we approve resolution 21-2022, banking the remaining tax levy capacity.
Second,
Oh, I guess that's easy enough to do. Good enough. 12.79.
Wait, where are we? I'm lost.
Item or city business item number 4, resolution 21-2022.
That one?
It would be,
It doesn't have a page to it, does it? Oh,
it was this one.
21-2023.
So this is just saving the rest of our allowed increase for another year. So we don't lose it.
And you'll see as it is typed, there's a question marks where we didn't have the answer yet for what the amounts are gonna be. So those will be plugged in and we'll show the dollar.
yeah. I second it.
Did
I made a motion.
we had a motion by Mr. Parsons that's right, to approve resolution 21-2022 to bank the remaining property tax levy capacity at 12.79, 17.79
Whatever
minus
is the
5
remaining.
is 12.79. The motion was seconded by Mr. Hall.
I'm confused.
So we have 17.79 available to us.
Right.
We're going to use 5.
Mhm.
The rest we need to save.
Mhm.
And so it doesn't get saved by default. We have to pass a resolution to save it so that we can use it in a different year
But the next year.
or any year after that.
That's why we have 17, because we've said nothing, we'll take nothing, but we're going to bank it. We're going to,
Save it for another year.
Save it on the other side,
Save it for another
and-
year. That's what this is.
nobody else banks it.
Saving. Seems kind of funny, right? You think, wouldn't everyone want to save it? I don't know why you wouldn't, but you have to do it in a resolution.
Okay.
Because they're hoping to slip up,
They're hoping you slip up.
not save it.
Now procedurally, I need to turn this into the county and it has to be signed by each member of the council. So
Before you leave, please sign that document. Further discussion on approving or considering resolution number 21-2022 to abate the property tax levy. All those in favor? 2022, abating the property tax levy, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Hello? Hello, hello?
Hello, member of the public, who is speaking?
Hi, so my name is Susan, and, I'm trying to listen, and Jason's chopping onions, and it's coming across as a screech, and I can't hear a single word that you guys are saying. So, I guess I missed the part. Did you all approve the 5% increase or not?
That is correct, yes. City Council did approve the 5% increase, which is $3,900 a year spread among all the residents in the city.
Right, okay, so I got that. So I wasn't aware, and I'm kind of backtracking on you guys. I wasn't aware that there was a meeting tonight. Did you all vote on the annexation of the urban development area?
No, there was no vote on any annexation. At the last meeting, there was a vote on annexation for 5 different properties. These were volunteers that requested to be within the city limits.
Okay. All right, so I think that we're still outside the city limits, so I don't need to be here.
That's correct. Yeah, the city council and the planning commission have made no moves to annex anyone outside of the city limits that is not interested in doing so.
Okay, are you guys planning another meeting for that, or?
No, there is no meeting or plan.
It's just if somebody says, hey, we want to be part of the city, then there would be a meeting concerning that?
That's correct, yes. There would be public hearings, there would be other meetings, there'd be a variety of communication, as well as I believe there's legal requirements as far as notifying those people outside of the city before it happens.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go and let you all get back to your business, and thank you for answering my questions.
Thanks for being here.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Aye.
Okay. Moving on to item number 5, council to discuss the 2023 budget estimates for the sewer fund. So similar to before, very confident in our sewer fund numbers. With the increased costs to the power down there, with the extra aerators, building, all the extra pumps, increased costs regarding phone lines and internet down there for constant remote monitoring of the sewer system, increased costs to chemicals with the new sewer system. Not increased costs of the chemicals, but increased usage, which then in turn increased costs. We were about $14,000 under where we wanted to be as far as our revenue for the sewer utility. And so obviously running a utility on a balanced budget is preferred. And so the calculation was a 6% increase to base rates, and also I believe it was a 10-cent increase to overage charges for those folks that are heavier users. Where is it? Yeah, 10 cents. So it would go from a 65 cents per 100 gallons to
60 cents to 70 cents.
From 60 to 70 cents per 100 gallons. And so obviously council can change those values. You know, you could charge a lot more for for overage and maybe not as much on base rate, to get to that $14,000 increased revenue number. But this is one that we showed you at the last meeting. It seemed like it was favorable in the council eyes, and so that's what this is written up as. So I think we've got one sheet of paper. I guess we had it at the last meeting.
Yeah, it was in the last.
Had a variety of different number or possibilities on it, but raising sewer utility rates is not anything we want to do in general. However, we're actually quite ecstatic by the fact that it is so little to balance this out, given all the years we're worried about the new construction and how expensive we thought the plant was going to be. And so really this is a very, very favorable outcome on that. Yeah, here we go. So the 6% increase to the base rate. So our current base rate for residential, of course, there's a variety of different rates, is $74 a month. The 6% increase would take it from $74 to $78.44. So $4.44 a month increase on the base rate. And then
And that gives you how many gallons?
45 per month.
45. Okay.
And that 6% increase would yield just under $13,000 of increased revenue for the sewer utility, the $4.44 a month. And going from the overage from 60 cents per 100 gallons to 70 cents per 100 gallons would give the sewer utility about $1,900 a year in increased revenue. So those two put together gets us to the $14,000 number that we were looking for to balance the sewer budget. So really for those folks that, and I think
Is this just,
we're about less than half of the people in the city have overages. That's what I've heard. So less than half the folks in the city have sewer overage. So for those folks, they wouldn't even see this 60 to 70 cent per 100 gallon increase. Again, like for seniors, their base rate would go from $55.74 a month to $59.08 a month. So again, in that $4 range. $4 a month. So hopefully council finds that reasonable.
I think we have a typo on category 3.
Okay.
You have it going from 59.74 to 59.08.
Okay.
No, that's low income people.
Category
Yeah,
3
it
is
should
senior
be
low income.
6%.
I think that's correct. Looking at the spreadsheet that we had last month, the current base rate for group 3 is $55.74, and it says the rate for the rate plus 6% is $59.08.
Yeah, so this one.
Yeah.
So it should say 55.
Yeah, the starting rate's in.
Yeah.
The bolded number there is
It
correct.
looks like it went down.
The bold number. Yeah, they should be 78.44 for group 1, which is residential, 78.44 for group 2, which is business and schools, 59.08 for seniors and low income, and 4 is churches and nonprofits at 23.78. That's what we had in the spreadsheet. We had the last council packet.
Is this a nod or is this a motion?
It's absolutely a motion to increase utility rates.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was now because it just says to discuss it.
It doesn't necessarily have to be now. I think there's some reporting requirements.
This is black and white and it is what it is. So I make a motion that we do this. Approve resolution 22-2022.
We have a motion by Mr. Parsons to approve resolution 22-2022. There's a lot of 22s. Seconded by Mr. Hall, is that correct? All right. Further discussion about the sewer utility.
Okay, wait a second. This, number 8? Are we on number 8?
You meant 20.07.
Last one?
Oh, you're correct. There's a typo on the agenda. It's not ordinance, it's resolution. So your resolution is.
It's this. Okay.
The agenda does say ordinance.
Okay,
It's supposed to be a
so
resolution.
I thought we were on 5, but 5 entails 6 and
We are, yeah. Well, because I don't remember 5 and 6. Dash 2022. That was 23. One at the end. All right.
so it's resolution
Yes.
22.
As written, ongoing resolution.
Okay.
I apologize. Further discussion?
Not Monday, Thursday.
22-22.
Try.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on to some easier stuff. Also consider Rockland's application for payment number 14, $90,300. Just a little bit of an oversight. This was the payment that happened back. So it's just bringing it to you now.
Make a motion that we approve Rockland's payment number 14 of $90,317.12.
Motion by Mr. Parsons to approve Rockland's application for payment number 14.
I'll second it.
Further discussion? All those in favor of approving Rockland's application for payment number 14, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Last item is city business. Council will consider resolution 22, resolution for the contract for the solid waste collection and disposal. Unfortunately, it's not ready yet. However, the Lemay's attorney is looking at it for the last time. It's not going to substantially change. However, the rates have been solidified. So in your packet, there is a list of sewer rates. We did already mail them out to the citizens in the most recent utility statement. That way folks can start getting their accounts set up before the new year. Hopefully council decides to approve this when it's available at the next council meeting. But I think you should be excited about the rates. A lot of us were worried about what we might see. And so there are Collection rates as low as $8.50 a month for seniors, which is far below what's available to folks not right now. And there's a variety of options from every other week to weekly to monthly, with different can sizes, all at very competitive rates to what we're seeing now.
So on these prices, you have to add
Correct, taxes.
and $5.50 for the totes, for the can.
No.
Then what's
They
rollout?
It's got $5 a month here.
Oh, I think if they have to come up to your house and bring it out, so if they have to get out of their truck and actually come physically move a tote or a dumpster.
Oh.
Do I still have to sign up for it if I don't want it?
Everybody's supposed to have it.
Current city code ordinance is everyone in the city is supposed to have garbage service.
Got to haul my own and save money.
So this is more of a discussion tonight than anything else. There's not a vote. It's more of a discussion to show council what's coming at the next meeting.
The problem with that, Ann, those people will save it
Yeah.
too long. And then
Yeah,
they,
but still, let's see, where is it? 95-gallon monthly pickup. That's about 3 bags in that darn thing. It's gonna sit out there with the bugs and the weather and the rats get into it while you're waiting for your monthly pickup.
Well, you can do a weekly if you want.
Right, and where I live in Winlock, we have Lemay already, and the 65-gallon can is very large, and we put probably at least 4 bags in it when we send it. And so these are large square cans, they have wheels on them, and they have a lid that comes down on them. It's heavy plastic, it's not like anybody could just chew them.
Our
We
family,
haven't seen the rats around here then.
This is one of the reasons we want to have this garbage, so these rats go away. If we quit feeding them, they won't be here.
our family of 6, and we're not very conservative, unfortunately, but we use about 64 gallons, 2 cans a month or a week. So 64 gallons a week, my family of 6 weeks. And we make a
Where all
lot.
this garbage is coming from, because that's like my house. Where is it coming?
So
Coming from the kitchen.
what would we set up for items be, and we put them all in one can, is that right?
That's correct, yeah. So this, along with this, besides just trash, you also have a second tote for recycling.
Which is
that's $12.
the water bottles? What is it? Water bottles, metal?
Everything but glass.
Cardboard, well,
Cardboard.
not corrugated cardboard, but like any paper, this kind of folder you can recycle, anything plastic that's.
Is that an option?
Plastic,
Yeah,
all
that's an
plastic,
option.
Just an option.
all plastic?
There are some restrictions, and they'll send you a flyer that will explain to you what can and can't be recycled.
Okay,
We
yeah,
have a pretty
they normally
one.
do, yeah. But the recycle is the 95 gallon. It's huge.
It's huge.
It's that big, that's big.
It's the big one.
So there is no option in that, so if you do it, you do it big.
Right.
12 bucks. Is that a week?
Every other. Every 2 weeks.
Every other, oh, yeah. Okay.
So folks need to kind of take that into consideration. If you're gonna use the recycling, you really need as large a trash can.
Right.
I mean, if you're throwing away all your milk, if you're recycling all your milk jugs, you're recycling all of your plastic,
65 gallons would be enough.
all of your laundry detergent containers, all that stuff that's big and bulky. How much trash does that
More
take?
than 95 gallons.
A lot of space.
Yeah.
So,
So 65 gallons, you do once a week or every other week.
Do they have a corrugated cardboard, like boxes?
Well, I was thinking that when I said that, because we do recycle all our boxes that we get shipments, you
Mhm.
know, purchases in and all that.
Do they do that, or?
This is that thing is full. And, I mean, you can
Is that
recycle
a-
paper, tissue paper,
But you said not corrugated.
I was wrong.
Oh, okay, you can do.
No, I was wrong, I was thinking, but no, that's not correct. You can't do that.
And the boxes, but those boxes have to go into the can.
Yeah, so
So
we
they're-
crush and fold and whatever we do.
Well, they're picking up every 2 weeks, and it's the huge container too. It's the 95. I mean, it's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and these are all the conveniences that everyone else has had since forever.
Yeah.
You know, so we're just finally getting there. So I think the customers are gonna be happy with the service.
But well, every other week.
Are they going to,
I can also do recycling, cheaper than one doing garbage once.
Yes,
We should have to take the cost of fuel in if you're driving it into all that stuff.
yeah, it's, I think folks are gonna find that they're gonna be able to find a combination of the recycling and the trash, some combination of the two, probably come out paying less than what they're paying now.
That's what the same. And have recycling.
are they going
It's gonna
to,
save what you just increased in property tax.
And we can't go.
Mike doesn't like that.
Dollar, whatever a month, yeah.
are they going to enforce the,
They've just-
everybody using it?
They've
Not
just,
payment.
they have discussed, they have mentioned that, and it sounds like, yes, they're definitely willing to do that.
Good, I know two people right on my street, or right on East Street, not thinking about it first. Right across the street from me, and the guy
And,
carried one.
and are we getting a bill from LeMay, or do they run it through the city?
They bill
They bill?
and they will pay.
Okay. And then they pay.
Currently, we have not received payment for existing service that range.
The franchise fee and the taxes. Yeah, so our current provider should be paying the city taxes and franchise fees, and they're, it's been difficult sometimes to get those in a timely fashion.
And also to address some of the problems that we've had is, they're not gonna be collecting at the door. It's all gonna be by mail, email, however, they're gonna do it, and for non-payment, you're not gonna have anybody asking you about that. They will be sending bills and hopefully not paid, we'll go to collection, that kind of thing.
Do they have,
Professional.
do they do online payment services?
Yeah, I see here, there's a website that you can go to, it's specific for Lewis County, and they have online contacts and everything.
And we have a capability to put the link for their payment system on our website.
And we have stacks of complaints from folks about our current solid waste provider. You know, we've gotten so many complaints about a variety of things, everything from people paying their bill by putting cash under the garbage can. People not being able to get service because they're having a disagreement with our trash provider. He just refuses to collect from them, take the trash, and so they're having to put their trash in their neighbors' cans to try to get their trash collected. It just goes on and on and on and on and on, you know, so, I don't expect we will have this problem, with a business like this. And like I said, looking at the rates, people are probably gonna save money.
I have a follow-up question. What if some people don't want to go with them? Can they go with other people, or do they have to sign up with
In-
them like Jeff?
So in the contract, it is an exclusive, agreement with LeMay. And, you're still allowed to haul your own trash, but you're not supposed to have another provider take your traffic.
Okay, because that's, at the beginning, everybody was saying, well, if you want to go with them, you speak to Jeff and he'll come.
It's not in the contract. One of the reasons why the rates can be as low as they are is that they have an exclusive agreement with the city. Further discussion on this? Do you have any input?
No, I'm excited about Ramey.
Jason's excited.
I can finally get a dumpster big enough to hold all my trash.
Advantageous to the businesses.
Yeah.
Anything else, council? There's nothing to vote on. On the public comment?
Is this up for a vote?
No, there's no vote right now, Jason. The contract's not ready.
Oh, okay.
Here, here. Very good. This meeting is adjourned at